Hi, Caspar here on the 16th of November 2021, and we have got a red wine here, and it's a red burgundy. Of course, it makes me very happy. And what is it? Well, it's a wine from one of the lesser known Burgundy villages. So this is 2008 Pernand Vergelesses, and it's a Premier Cru Île de Vergelesses from Domaine Rollin, Père et Fils. Let us have a look. It's still aged 13. Got a really bright sort of ruby colour to it, just taking on a little bit of garnet. Medium deep, no deeper than that. Sort of fairly proper colour for a Pinot Noir. And actually, I did decant this. And it's something the Burgundians very rarely do, decant their wines, but I wanted to get it opened up quickly as possible, so I decanted it probably 3/4 of an hour ago, I would think. So let us have a look. Pernand Vergelesses, a lot of the is a village behind the hill of Cote, and as such, it's sort of slightly in shadow, so it tends to be a cooler terroir. The wines tend to be it's more difficult to ripen grapes there, so of course it's really coming into its own with climate change. I think it's really suffered because of its position. It's off the tourist route, and because its name is hard to pronounce. I think people are slightly daunted by saying Pernand Vergelesses, which is a shame. I mean, they should just call it Pernand. And what have we got? Gosh, we've got a wine that's got immense precision on the nose. It is just super well defined set of aromas, starting to find some complexity. And the Rollins are predominantly known for their white wines. They make a string of fantastic white Pernod. Their straight white Pernod is absolutely brilliant and will keep 8-10 years plus in the cellar. They also make a very, very good Cote Charlemagne, and lesser known for their red wines. And the shame, really, I mean, this has got immense precision. It's got a layer of spice over the top, and just a hint of sort of rose petal, but the fruit majors on crisp red cherry, a little bit of damson, and something a bit more domestic, a bit more raspberry, but the whole thing comes across with almost citrus freshness. In fact, there's almost a hint of fresh orange juice about it. It's really crisp, clean, gaining a bit of complexity with bottle age. I would suggest this is not a Burgundy for people who like New World, ripe, pillowy Pinot. This is a wine that's very much on its earth. It's a wine of immense freshness. I mean, the acidity really starts right at the front of the palate and carries on all the way through, bringing this fantastic juiciness. What it also adds is some quite significant tannin. They're not astringent tannins by any stretch of the imagination. But they do bring the whole thing into a sort of a savoury idiom, and then push into the long term. And the long term involves really juicy grip, and it's a structured thing, majoring on crispness. I mean, it's very crisp, red and darker fruit. The fruit at the death is more wild. That raspberry thing is lost, and there's more of the sort of hedgerow fruits, red and particularly black. It's lively. It's needs a bit of food, but it doesn't need really anything too heavy. It needs some very plainly cooked food. And I suspect no hurry to drink up. As I said, Monsieur Rollin's white wines last for a long time, but the red wines as well. He makes a village Pernand, a couple of Pernand Premier Crus, and a bit of wine Savigny-le-Bon next door. Um, but it's certainly not a modern wine by any stretch. It's got something slightly old-fashioned about it, but it's got a unbelievable sort of clarity of the message within it. It's very clear voiced, transparent, crisp, clear, defined. It's very nice. I mean, they're more expensive, these wines, than now. Of course they are. Burgundy has started to get really very expensive even at this level. But you know, these used to be bargains. So I am enjoying that. It's a wine that makes you think. You know, it's not a facile thing by any stretch. So there we are. That's been 2008 Pernand Vergelesses Premier Cru Île de Vergelesses from domain Rollin, Père et Fils, and it's a lovely thing.